So I've been thinking about this for a long time now, and I think it's one of the things that made me understand life in the best way possible. Well, according to my logic, right? I'm not sure if I'm correct, but I think that's the right thing to say. So I saw a video that a friend just recently sent me, and it basically encapsulates the meaning of the thought, right? Uh, we're always shown as invaluable or unimportant or even yeah, like made to feel like you don't matter, and it's all part of a marketing scheme and publicity and beautiful people being used for nefarious purposes, right? And it's all manipulation, and it's all in the conspiracy theory kind of area, but it's more than that, right? It's something that you can actually acknowledge with your own experience. I'm not trying to say that I know everything. I'm just saying that this has happened in my experience, and I've talked to people, and it happened to them as well. So it's something that could be universal because it's linked to the same thing. Understanding what life is about, what ego is, and how to not allow it to ruin your life. I think I said this before, but the video that I'm going to describe is pretty simple. It's just a mother and a daughter. I didn't understand a word that they were saying because they were speaking Portuguese. I speak Spanish, but it's not the same, and it's some words you can get, but others it's kind of hard, especially if you're not familiar with the accent and all that. So it's a mother and a daughter, and the intent is just to show you, right, how important it is for you to not break yourself to be able to fit into somebody's expectations. So the video starts with the mother asking her daughter to fit a large plate into a small, it's a porcelain plate, into a small glass bowl. So it's obviously not possible because the plate is too big for the bowl. So what she tells her daughter to do is, okay, so you don't think that there's a way for this plate to fit in that bowl, right? And she kind of says, yeah, it's not possible. And the mother says, you know what, it is possible. Let me show you how. And she grabs the plate, sets it down, and then puts a cloth above it, and just starts pounding on the plate with the on the cloth with the hammer. So obviously she says, see, and what do you see right now? And says, it's a broken plate. Yeah, that's right. But if you can tell, the plate by itself, complete whole, it didn't fit there, right? But right now it's all made into pieces, and then you can fit everything. Every single part of that bowl is containing every single part of that plate. So that's the message, right? And at the end, I think she says something like, if you break yourself to fit into somebody else's perception, then you will never be whole. You'll always be broken. And that's the main point that I'm trying to make with these videos, right? El que dirán, or what they will say, or living up to somebody else's opinion or expectation, just because of tradition or fear, or somehow trying to honor thy parents, right? Like the sacred books say, and we confuse it with like that. And I've talked about this before, and it's confused in that matter because we don't honor our parents by doing what they want from us. They already did that, and just it's rare cases, but in the majority of cases, look at their eyes. It's all in the eyes. Look how happy they are, or how sad they are, or how angry and upset and always unsatisfied they are, and always trying to pretend they are something they're not just because of appearances, right? And getting into debt, and not actually finding their purpose because they have to work because that's what needs to be done. And so it comes to be that we tend to think that our parents are the all-knowing beings in the universe, and some of them are. I'm not saying that they're not. My parents are very wise in some ways and very limited in other cases, right? And so am I. Well, that's the point. We cannot let our lives be dependent on the opinion of somebody who wasn't able to enforce that kind of attitude of enjoying life, of being happy, or seeking happiness or love. We cannot let our whole existence, our whole experience be dictated by those kind of people, because they weren't brave enough, or they weren't patient enough to make the choices to lead them to happiness, right? They conformed, and they settled with somebody who they didn't even like, but they're good looking, so it's good enough. Or they were recommended by someone, or she likes me, or he likes me, but I don't like them. But it's nice to feel loved, and maybe I can use that person somehow, right? To not feel alone myself. And we keep doing these things to ourselves, and we keep on pretending like it's love's fault or life's fault that we keep on making those easy decisions, right? To not be alone, to not show how afraid we are of death, and the whole fucking concept of abandoning this existence. And we don't focus on those topics because it's forbidden, because they are taboo, because it's something that is going to depress people. But it's something that needs to be addressed, because the topics like death and politics and religion are all topics that are actively trying to make you conform to a life that it's limited by ancient rules that don't apply anymore, or that shouldn't apply anymore to our modern world, to an uncommunicated world through internet. It's impossible for those rules to apply there anymore. We have more hygiene than before, so some of those rules also don't apply anymore. They were good rules. I mean, the intent of religion, which is to, according to my theory, is to make sure that the stronger didn't get all the benefits of harvests, right, and all that. And that's how quote unquote intelligent people designed economic structures and religious intent, and then they keep on using it to manipulate us into buying their poison and their low quality products, and their intentionally and purposefully low quality products that they sell, so that they can keep on selling, because if they make good products, eventually people are not going to need them anymore. So what do? They fuck your health, they fuck with your environment, they fuck with everything, right? That should be important for everybody, but it's not important for them, because they don't live where we live. They don't drink from the rivers that we drink from. They don't give a fuck. They can poison those rivers for all they care. They can go into a nice river in Switzerland or the United States or whatever the nice river is, right? They can enjoy life at. They have the means, the stolen and exploited and lied to means to wealth, so they are able to afford that kind of luxury. But not us. Not us, that we create all the services, that we manage the services, that we produce the products, that we go out and sell them. Not us. We, the people who actually generate the wealth that these people so cleverly have placed themselves into the funnel, the end point of the funnel on. Not sure if I made my point, but yeah, they place themselves through lying, through cheating, through exploitation, through rule bending, and affecting a lot of people. They set themselves up to be the successful ones, even though their mentality is the most mediocre thing that I've come to imagine, right? And I know this because I've thought like that before. I've thought like that in a way that made me feel empty, that made me feel like it's not important to even consider the beauty of life, right? Because it's impossible. But you have to get out of your head on that point, because life is beautiful, and it's something that you can enjoy if you choose to make the hard decisions. If you're not afraid to end up alone and to die alone, because we're all going to be at that point somehow, right? At one point. So it doesn't matter how much others expect of you. If you lose your life in that way, then you're never going to be happy. You're always going to be regretful and angry at people, and just insert yourself into situations that aren't of your incumbents, or shouldn't be important to you. And that's when you become that kind of Karen, or that kind of person who doesn't mind messing with others' experiences, who sends them to war, who talk about you to ruin your reputation, right? But again, reputation is about what they think about you, and you should know what you are. Your ego should be there to help you understand that you are important, that you are valuable, that you are capable of doing whatever the fuck you want with your life. And unchecked ego comes in and inserts itself, telling you that there are rules and that you're not supposed to do that because you should be afraid because God, right? Whatever God they choose to believe in and to try to indoctrinate you into when you're little. And that's fine. I mean, you can believe in whatever religion you want. That's really not my topic or my thing anymore. I used to be that kind of a hateful atheist, but I really don't care anymore. As long as you're a good person, that's good enough for me, man. Believe in whatever the fuck you want to believe. Be happy in that decision, and just try not to become a hypocrite, right? Or a team member. Those people who, no matter what the reason is, or if the team is right or not, as long as the team wins, it doesn't matter if they do it by cheating or anything like that. That's the kind of mentality that these people use to engage us in their corruption and their faulty policies, because none of them are looking to enhance their life or mine. They're looking to enhance their own lives, even though they have everything. They're already, their parents or their grandparents or their ancient relatives already stole and lied and cheated for them. Then they can be doing the same because that's what their parents did. That's what the ancients have done before. So it's not a bad thing. They don't have self-reflection. They don't have the ability to think about the community because the only important people are them. Because somehow they are chosen by their gods, right? The gods that we invented to try to justify or try to control or to try to manipulate people with. And it's sad because the word religion itself, it comes from religare, right? From reunifying, rejoining. And they teach us anything but that. They try to say it on the sermons, the purposefully boring sermons that they make us go through, not actually having an idea of what those words mean, right? Because they interpret it according to their ego, because it was ego who actually wrote in all the magic and all the other stuff that makes no sense otherwise, right? And we always live out the message of all those religious texts, which is love yourself, love others, and be happy, and be a community, and progress in that way. We're barely a 500,000 years old as a species, and we're fighting each other just because of who has more resources or who has a bigger boat or who has a bigger whatever. Just because some obtuse people choose to believe that their lack of melanin or their inability to process the sun adequately just makes them somehow purer than other people who adapted differently, right? Because there's no races. According to my process of thought, there are no races. We're just people from the exact same background that adapted to different environments and evolved to accommodate those geographical and environmental happenings, right? That's what we are. We're not races. We are a race of monkey. We are human, and then there are chimpanzees, and there are bonobos. There are gorillas. Well, not monkeys, apes, but you get the point. So we see differences in things that don't fucking matter, and we keep on fighting over pieces of cloth or imaginary lines that we drew on the sand or on the rocks, or any other kind of stupid thing that's guiding us away from the real purpose that we should be focusing on, which is stop the fighting, stop wasting money on fucking guns and stupid shit, and let's just focus on using every single intelligence, every single ability, every single hand that we can towards the betterment of our odds to survive anything that could happen that would be catastrophic for the remaining of us, right? Solar flare that jumps us back to the time before internet. super volcanoes, comet, asteroid, one of those rogue planets. I don't know, man. We have a lot of things going for us that could go wrong, and we're focusing on allowing idiocy to manage our resources and administer our intent through lobbying and corrupt manipulation. And we won't be able to actually survive as a species if we keep on fighting over idiocy that a couple of people benefit from. We need to focus on using the internet to communicate, not to fight each other, but to communicate with each other so that we're able to find a way to, without violence, help those mentally ill people who keep on hoarding everything. Because that's what they are. They're mentally ill. Hoarding is a disease, and it happens with every single other thing. Poo, pee, magazines, newspapers, whatever you want to hoard. You're a hoarder, you're mentally ill. That's according to psychology, right? That's a disease. So if you're a hoarder of wealth and you're doing the exact same thing, you're no different than people who do that kind of thing. But the difference is that you hoarding does affect others because it takes away from others. So that's that's why I say it's the most mediocre mentality that I've come to meet, because it makes no sense for a real civilization, for a real big brain to actually keep on using resources like they're doing, because it's all for nothing. What are they going to do after they die in their bunkers? What's going to be good for them outside? They already destroyed everything, right? And we're already so close to that line that we won't be able to pull back from it. And the Earth is not going to die. We're not going to experience a whole new big explosion that sends the planets to whatever, right? But we are going to be those kind of the kind of thing that happened to the dinosaurs, for example. And it's happened a couple of times. And instead of focusing on that, we're focusing on making people rich who actually create guns and create bombs and create drones and all their shareholders, how it was possible for them to get that amount of wealth over things like insider trading and market manipulation and all these stuff that takes away from other people. I mean, it's a whole system that's designed for just that, to keep the leeches of society keep on not doing anything to generate wealth, while the people they exploit have harder and harder time, a harder time trying to buy groceries or trying to get a fucking car to bring their families to vacation. It's fucking sad, man, because it's there. The answer is right there. We just need to not funnel the resources to them anymore and invest in the communities. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Not drain the community and take those funds away from it, to actually invest in the community so that we have better jobs, better conditions, better lives, better ways of reinvesting in the same community. And this local kind of thinking, it goes abroad, because if we are able to cooperate and share things and share knowledge and share abilities, we will all be able to achieve our goals of survival in a much faster way than how we're doing it right now. Because even progress has happened, even through those kind of channels, corrupt channels, has actually pushed through, but then we end up killing the people trying to give us that, right? Recently there has been, I'm not sure if this is conspiracy as well, but there have been a lot of scientists that have disappeared, have been uninstalled from this experience, right? And it's because of it not being convenient for companies and for shareholders that the technology pushes through, right? So we're basically that, as I said on the last video, we're basically that meme of the kid that has a bike and he puts a stick on the front tire himself. So obviously we're doing that to ourselves. We're not progressing because we allow people who have ancient ideas control our resources, because according to them, their lack of love and their lack of understanding of life justifies or is justified because of their religious background or their religious, what they call their own religious ideas, right? Which they end up disregarding completely because loving yourself and loving others will never allow you to lie or to cheat or to manipulate things to so that you can steal from those people. So you're not religious either. You're just a leech, social leech. The thing that you say about the black people and the welfare queens and all that, you're that. Because socialism is okay when it's for companies or for rich people, but it's not okay when it's for the actual populace. So go figure that out. So yeah, man, it's not about you not being ugly or you're not being valuable enough. I'm ugly, man. I promise you I'm ugly. I'm not a good looking guy. But that doesn't matter because I love myself. I know what life is and I know that enjoying it is the point. So that kind of aura relaxes me a lot. And that may be the very reason why I met my wife and she fell in love with me. And she's beautiful. Outside and inside, she's beautiful and all around. So I don't care anymore about your life. I used to care about celebrities and all that because it was what's bombarded to me in my screens and my newspapers, my magazines, everything is bombarding me with those kind of appearances of success. But success, I come to realize that it's about enjoyment of life. That's it. And if you know that, then you're not easily manipulated anymore, and you are able to see beyond that, and you are able to stop being teams. So because you see the flaws on each side of the spectrum, and you see that both of them are the same kind of hypocrite, lying social leech that they talk about each other as or accuse each other of being. We're in the presence of hypocrisy and so easily detected. We just need to allow ourselves to understand what they call success as the mediocre attitude that is draining them alongside with how they drain us. Because they drain our time, they drain our experience because they make it harder to live. And that doesn't allow us to experience what we enjoy or speak to our families or be there for our families. They force us to debt and to compromise and to, again, el que dirán, what they will say, so that they can force you to conform to a certain type of life that would enable you to just be okay, but don't complain and don't ask for anything more. But right now, if you realize those greedy fucks, they don't care anymore. They're just trying to bring more to their own buckets, right? Fuck everybody else. And you see it obviously. You see them insider trading. You see them doing all these stuff, and it's easy for us to understand that. So if you love yourself and understand what the life is about, that then you're able to see them for what they are, and you're able to know that they are not successful, that they are social leeches. They are taking away from us. So the advice would be that I'm nobody to give advice, right? But it has made me happy. So I hope it does the same for you. The advice that I can give you to achieve happiness, which is not an easy step to take, but you have to take that step, is to accept yourself, to love yourself, to be who you want to be in this life. Because otherwise, if you keep on conforming to whatever anybody else wants from you, you're going to have a very miserable existence. It's not going to be existence at all. Because again, the only thing that matters in this life is how you experience it. That's it. If you don't love your experience, you're going to be harmful to other people. You're going to be hurtful to other people with the intention, because you won't care what happens. As long as you're okay, you won't care about anything else. And that's not how communities are strengthened. That's how communities get weakened and used by politicians and corporations and religious people who claim to try to have the best intentions for you, but they only want one thing, and it's profit or attention or to gain more power and control. And how they do that is through your attentions. Just if we don't give them our attentions, if we don't funnel our resources to them, we stop electing people who only care about themselves, and it's most of them. Then we're gonna keep on being on the same boat and complaining about how life is unfair, but it's really not. It's just us not allowing them to control our resources anymore, so we can actually enjoy life ourselves as well. That's the whole point. Why are you existing if you're not enjoying life? That's how when they say that you die while walking, right? A walking dead. You become a zombie, and it's horrible to see that every day and see it reflected in people's decisions, right? How they're being shitty to each other and trying to talk about things that they don't know and to just follow and vomit talking points, and it's horrible how personalities are taken away from us just because of the intent to profit from our labor and our time and our attention. But I guess that's all I have today. Just again, love yourself. It's a hard thing to do, but it takes fucking time, a long time. But you'll get there, I promise you. Just don't conform. Don't settle with anybody, and try to be alone for as long as it takes, as long as you can understand that part of life. And if you do that, I promise you, you'll be great. It's kind of sad at times, but just push through it, man. It's really worth it. But yeah, I'll talk about the kind of guys that do this alpha male kind of things in the next video. So let me just prepare that one, and I'll get back. So for now, that's all I have, and thanks so much for listening if you did. I hope you have a great day.